All right, Richard, so what's a couple of first things that you do?
So first we're going to clean the patient off. So I have those 3 chlorhexidines. So these are cheap and I like to clean widely. So now we know about where we're going and I like to scrub it all. And I'll scrub all the way down past the nipple, all the way past the neck on both sides. And I like to use 3 of them.
The other advantage of that is if you have to switch to a subclavian.
Yeah, it's actually completely already sterile right here as long as you go down all the way.
Yeah.
And then we don't have to re-gown, re-drape. Alright, now that the patient's cleaned off, it's my turn. So we gotta make sure that we wash our hands first. Just go ahead and put on some hand sanitizer. Now we're ready to gown ourselves. So ideally you want to be able to do all of this with no assistant, all by yourself, which sometimes is necessary in an emergency. So we take out our gown, find where the buttons are, you can see them up here, and then you're going to hold it this way. So I'm going to turn it around just so you guys can see too. So there's a sleeve hole on both sides. That's where your arms go. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take these 2 buttons, lift up your head, and go around the back of your neck. Now your arms are still free. You can then slide your hands in yourself. Now make sure your hands don't come out the other end. Now you're ready to put your gloves on. So you have your gloves in front of you. First pick up one. You're going to put this hand inside and just slide it over, and then pull, and pull, until your fingers come out the other end. Now you're ready to lift up your other glove. Now I'm going to do the same thing. And then pull through. Now we're sterile. We can now touch the inside of the kit. We can touch where our towels and our drapes are. So we're ready to drape the patient. I'm going to move my towels out of the way. You can then flip this over. And this is unique to Herman. We have this towel and drape kit. So we have 3 size drapes. We have 2 short ones and 1 long one. The head of the patient's up there. The feet are down here. First we use a short one, and I cover up the feet. And you can loop it all the way around. We then have another short one, which we can use to put over the patient's head. Don't forget to put that air mask on so that they have some comfort. The last one is a little bit more tricky. This is a long drape, and this can go over the patient's torso. Now we're ready to move in. Making sure our gown and our gloves don't touch any of our surroundings, we're going to go up to the site. So I'm going to re-expose that area on the neck. And then I'm going to use some towels for the local area. We'll clean one more time with the chlorhexidine.
And Richard, how many small towels did you use right over there?
I used 4, and I made
Okay.
a little diamond. And set this towel extra one aside. And I'll just draw your attention to inside the kit is another drape. This is a plastic drape. We could have also used the plastic drape instead. We don't need this now though, so we'll just put it aside. And so I try to manipulate the kit as little as possible when I'm getting ready. Just the things that we need. And I like to set everything up stat-wise by how I'm going to use it. So if the patient is awake, we should use some numbing medicine. So this kit comes with lidocaine. We'll pop the cover. And this is the one that we can use for drying up lidocaine and for injecting. We can set that aside. The next thing we'll need is the needle. This is our introducer needle. So there's a few things I want you to pay attention to. One is the bevel. The bevel is that little point where the wire is going to come through. So that needs to be pointed up when we do the procedure. To get this ready for use, there's a couple things you need to do. One, you need to go up and down in the plunger. The first time you do it, it's a little tight, so you need to make sure it moves easily. Next, I loosen this just a little bit to make sure that this slides off very easily, and that my bevel is on the same side as the numbers. That way I always know where my bevel is facing up. I'll just do that one more time so you can see. Bevel. Up.
Bevel's up, just where the numbers are.
That's right, Dr. Miller. And we'll put this right aside so that we're ready for it. The next thing that we use is the wire. So your wire comes like this, and there's a little cap on the end. So we need to get it ready. The first thing we do is we take off this cap. This little point here is called the J-tip. So we want to straighten out the J-tip. I do that with my thumb. I pull down. And now, just a little bit is extending, and then it can go back out. Now the wire is ready for use. In a crash line, we can hold off on this next step. But if you're doing a full sterile line that we're trying to do every step of the procedure, then the next thing is to just go ahead and attach our caps. So this one has a brown, a blue, and a white port. We can unscrew these. And then we're going to put our little caps that we have and we're going to attach them. One for the blue. One for the white. And this extra one will be for when we're finished with the procedure. So we'll just set this aside for right now. I want to make sure that when I put this wire down, that it's easy to get, that it's within arm's reach. So I usually just put it right here. I like to put a little extra gauze within arm's reach as well. So the next thing we're going to do is put on the probe cover. So we're going to open this up. Set that aside. And inside you'll find some sterile gel. And you'll find a plastic probe cover. So if you're doing this by yourself, you can grab that probe with no one helping you. If someone else is helping you, you have them pull on the white. These little wings. There's arrows here. Your hand goes in, and this is the direction you grab. And basically you're making a little glove. The probe is going to sit right here, in the center of this. Inside, there is non-sterile gel already on our probe, and that helps with the interface.
Alright.
So I'm going to reach down and grab the probe, being careful not to touch the machine with my arm. Now that I have the probe, I'm going to pull this down myself. And everything that comes off the field is no longer sterile. So you want to make sure there's no air bubbles here, so you get a nice clean view. Then you'll attach your rubber bands.
And how many rubber bands come in the packet?
There are 2. Try not to drop them. This is our sterile gel. I usually like to make a little puddle right next to myself, so I don't have to re-squeeze.